Love it. This is CEVO, guys. Well, actually, it's not CEVO. This is a special circumstance for you guys.
Tide Hunter, Centaur, Dragon Knight, Sand King, Invoker.
They've got a lot of stun on the side of iDota, which I think is really good. There's not quite as much on Snooze too. I mean, they've got the Ravage, decent team fight, and high magic damage, but
Snoo do have a lot of lockdown. I mean, between Earthshaker, Tide Hunter, and Shadow Shaman, as well as Mirana, you can't count that one out. I think it's a fairly okay. It's not an equal setup. I think Death by Snoo they do have a lot of stun, but iDota severely outclasses them. Each hero has one form of
and it's
lockdown.
all simple. Click on a hero and stun them, whereas Earthshaker, you can really screw over your own team with that stun.
Yeah, I mean, also Dragon Knight, highest single target stun in the game, at level
Sand
1.
King, the second most.
Yeah, Sand King, the second highest. He's actually the highest multi-target stun at level 1. So this isn't counting Mirana's like long arrow
Or ultimate.
or ultimate. Well, ultimate.
Well,
is
you mean
level
hero
1.
level 1, not
Yeah.
skill level 1.
Right. No, Mirana's arrow. I mean, obviously, if you can hit a long one, is the longest, but we don't count that because hitting the max arrow is not like 100%. So whatever. If I had my stats, man, we could get an official ruling on what is generally.
Where is our
accepted.
stats, man?
Well, I talked to a Phage. He wasn't available tonight. Fridge Master's being a dork, and Nahas didn't even respond to me, dude. Like, these guys hate me.
This is too popular for us. It's okay.
Yeah, it's too good. All right.
Look, Carrion. This guy stalks me, I swear. All right, let's introduce the teams here. Two-game series. This is game 1 of the night. This will be the only series. A little bit of in-game lag there. Over onto the Dire, though, they're grouping up the way here on the Mirana. 7-14, he's going to be playing the Skywrath Mage. Reckoner, that likely to be the offlane Tide Hunter. We've got Sugar Dunkerton, nice name for the hero he's playing here on the Earthshaker. And Hot Ron is going to be on the Shadow Shaman, also supporting up.
Really quick, because it looks like we might have a early attempt at aggression here. It's going to be for the offlaner now on the side of iDota. Lloyd will be on the Centaur War Runner. Shiny for the Dragon Knight. Jarly on the Sand King. What is that? Delilah? Yeah, Delilah.
That's what I would have said.
Going to be playing the Rubik. And last but not least, Ezbax Cole. Wow, what a name on the Invoker. I feel like this is Dota fails. All these names, man.
Yeah, it's tough sometimes. Alright, Invisor spawns top. We'll see if they want to try to use it. Earthshaker actually has a Quelling Blade, and I think he's got a lot of regen, so he's going to be farming middle? Tri-laning middle here? Yeah, it is a mid-Dragonite. Or, sorry, Earthshaker. Obviously, Dragonite is in the mid lane for the other team. They find the Invis rune top. 7-14, maybe going to look to use that. They don't really have much here. If you can get that Fisher block this way...
He's looking for the concussive shot. He's got a point up in it already, and if he can get it, Hot Ron can probably get up close. They're not going to go for it, and yeah, what a Fisher.
That wasn't very good. Alright, interesting. I think they should have let Earthshaker get it, and then pretended Skywrath was going to go mid, and then when you get this block off, then you kill the Dragonite.
See, but that's too new meta, dude. Like, these guys have got to play old meta.
I guess. I don't know. That's just next level, man. Up top, though, Lloyd, he's had a pretty easy time because of that middle... interesting things that happened in the mid lane. They're going to deward though, so now his vision is gone. Or they'll leave it there. What are they doing? Did they not? Okay,
it's too late to fake it out now. I mean, you've already done a couple of auto attacks. What are you going to do?
You're going to wait for Lloyd to deny it. I love denying wards on people. It's so funny.
Yeah, let's wait for the Centaur War Runner to walk up and deny in the midst of a couple of ranged heroes. That's a smart idea. Regardless, I think, last hits already are trading fairly evenly. I mean, one team, obviously, it's going to be iDota pulling ahead a little bit, but for 3 last hits, not too terrible at the moment. I think things are going to be maintained relatively quiet stance at the moment. I mean, I don't see any teams really practicing any aggressive tactics. Mid lane, I wouldn't guess that mid lane would be the source of a kill at any time soon, but it looks like Sugar Dunkerton isn't taking a lot of harass from the Dreath Fire, so we might have to keep an eye here.
Yeah, and it's only going to get worse and worse. Breathe Fire, level 3, pretty devastating, so the Earthshaker's going to have to watch out. He's almost got his bottle, so he'll be okay then. You might want to just... Yeah, he's got one more Tango, so he's not going to salve up, but he should soon, because one more level and Dragonite's going to be able to get a kill without much difficulty at all. And his bottle is already out, and he's coming to get his boots and probably going to bottle chicken backwards, I think.
Bottle chicken, I like it.
Yeah, before it's upgraded, I guess.
Look at these wards here, though. Both teams repping the cheapo ward.
What do you mean the cheapo ward?
That's the ward you get for the little present.
Oh, is it? I thought that
Non-tradable.
was random.
Yeah, both of them are non-tradable.
That's the Chen ward, though, I thought. Yeah, just...
Yeah, you get that one with the present, though. Like, it's the same thing as the boar. No one likes the boar.
What boar?
The mythical boar.
Everyone gets that?
Yeah.
I have that.
Oh, look at you thinking you're special.
No, I am. Everyone's like, whoa, where'd you get that boar?
Still, going back to the game, it looks like an attempt to snipe off the courier from 714, and, well, a great position as I switched over to it a little bit to watch it as it came up down this direction. But, yeah, so
well, then it got upgraded.
Yeah, it got upgraded, but they did defend it from getting sniped off, and that's a little bit of waste of time for 714. Unfortunately, for Lloyd, 714 is coming up with a concussive shot to lead off.
Can they get him, though? Only 1 point in shackles. They're just getting some damage. Oh, arrow's going to come in, and then a double starfall. That should be the kill. Nicely done. That's the first blood. Hot Ron picks it up. iDota probably wanted that one instead, but I think first blood support is pretty nice. The 400 gold really helps them, and they all get the XP from it. See if they want to push. Only level 3 on Shadow Shaman, so they'll probably hold off until 6 and then just try to bring down all the tier 1s.
Never count out the level 1 shackle. 2.75
Oh, nice south
seconds.
cancel
Yep.
in the mid lane.
Well, he salved to stay alive. That may or may not have killed him.
Bottling up, almost full health. He could be in some trouble here. Let's look at the Fisher. 2 seconds. Can they get the block? Enchant Totem. Yeah, it's kind of hard to block there. They could have thrown it this way if it was up, but it wasn't. So Dragon Knight will get away. But the rune, he is denied, and it was a regen rune. That would have been really big for him. Instead, he's forced to Bottle Crow, as most Dragon Knights usually are in the mid lane. So he's back to doing that. Oh, let's see. There's actually rotation from the other team here, just trying to bait. So Shiny, let's see if he can be hot and tempting.
I don't know. I think Sugar Dunkerton is playing this really smart right now. He's only getting the harass off when Shiny comes in this little area down in the mid lane, and he's not really getting too aggressive. Like, you see he gets the Fisher off, and many players would just try to walk up and get incredibly aggressive because that Fisher lands. But Sugar Dunkerton is respecting the lane, respecting his opponents, and overall just playing it really smartly, as it looks like a rotation towards the mid lane was actually the supports rotating up to contest this tri-lane and try to get Lloyd some farm here.
Yeah.
Oh, and here's the bait.
Jarly with a nice burrow strike onto Hot Ron. Hot Ron, he got the first blood, but he's going to give up the next kill. So second blood goes to Lloyd, gets some revenge there. Unfortunately, doesn't come off the extra 500 gold. Now Earthshaker is going to go up top. Sunstrike going to be off the mark. I don't even quite know where it was.
I think it hit ink, but wasn't
Yeah,
enough
I
to
was
kill him.
maybe looking for ink. Probably the lowest there. But Shiny had to go way far back to pick up the bottle, so he missed out on some experience as the Earthshaker is moving top, because now that Echo Slam is up, if Shiny is even like 3/4 HP, if he steps up to the creep wave, he dies.
Yep.
Like straight up.
Man, Earthshaker 1v1 mid is the most fun thing ever because of that.
If you can get your level 6.
You
Sometimes
can get a level 6. Yeah.
sometimes it doesn't work out. It honestly is pretty good, especially melee versus melee. And he's kind of hard to gank with the Fisher, like multi-person stunned. You can get trapped by the tower. Things can go wrong.
Looks like Sugar Dunkerton trying to go for the bottom rune, but Shiny was there and ready. Jarly makes his way in, though, and he's going to go right back behind, but this ward's still there, spots out Jarly's movement. And this is a ward I'm referencing, and it actually spots out the 4 heroes in the mid lane. So all the other lanes can decide to be a little bit more aggressive now as, well, Sugar Dunkerton, he's going to be pushed back, but no real harm done as he is an XP hero. Doesn't exactly need much farm aside from his Blink Dagger.
Yeah, he'll probably opt to go Mana Boots first, then Blink, I think.
Well, the reduced mana cost or the 0 mana cost of Blink, it's not an absolute option. Or
Yeah, you don't really have to do it, but it helps the team, because they're going to want to 5-man, they're going to want to fight and push tower, so the Mana Boots are a lot more helpful
Arrow
there than the
flying
Blink
out
Dagger
top,
is, I think.
Not going to hit. Very close, though. Jarly is coming up, though. He wants to try to make something happen, but at the moment, I can't help but feel like Death by Snoo Snoo are just
They see
kind of
him off the
wasting
high
time.
ground, yeah.
Or, sorry, iDota are just kind of wasting time. Yeah, they spot him out. Hot Run now going to go on to Lloyd with the shackles. There's the arrow to fly. Now the Sunstrike comes down. Lloyd will take a fall. Jarly trying to get a return kill. Going into the Sandstorm, no detection. Does end up being a 1-for-1, but that's your dedicated solo offlaner for support. Are they going to be done, though? iDota, he's diving behind the
He's got
tower.
leap. Should die.
He wants to kill. Yep, this is enough. Jarly is going to go down a 2 for 1. And iDota, their rotations, you know, not as smart as they could be.
Well, they also had a rotation into the mid lane, which almost killed the Earthshaker. He blew the Echo and he threw out the Fissure, so that's what I was talking about when he's kind of hard to gank. The Dragon Poison wasn't quite enough, as I believe it's non-lethal, like most Dragon Poison, like all poison in Dota. So Earthshaker got away with like 1 HP, and then they got the 2 kills up top, so that really worked out all across the map for death by Snoo. The one thing they don't have, though, is Echo Slam if they want to look to fight. Maybe iDota can smoke and get something done because of that. But Ravage is up now on Reckoner, and he's pretty healthy with the TP, 1200 gold. I would expect that's a hero that also wants to get mana boots before Blink, even with the reduced mana. He really spams spells. Could be in trouble, though. Invoker, slightly missing the Sunstrike. Did have Cold Snap, but didn't use it.
Yeah, it was a very interesting engagement or attempt by Invoker. Didn't seem like he had his mind set straight on that one, which direction he wanted to go, and obviously he wanted to get rid of the Sunstrike so he could invoke the Cold Snap, and unfortunately it didn't quite work out for him. Now I see a teleport coming in from 714. They're going to try to make a look to go on as backs now, as his mana slightly reduced, probably won't be able to invoke Ghostwalk, in fact doesn't even have any Wex, so they're going to get back. Looks like here's the smoke you're talking about. And they're going to try to make a move now with Echo Slam down. They're going to use the Ravage instead. Now getting one last stack. Oof, Tidehunter is going to have a lot of fun with that one.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, he can clear it. He can clear it now. Well, he needs some HP regen. Having a headdress or a buckler is pretty nice. Smash. Or Kraken Shell. It's faster with another point, but the damage reduction is always 60. But the 30 damage reduction really helps.
It's more the mana cost, I think. Oh wait, no, it goes up. Damn it, I am wrong.
Yeah, no, it goes up, but it's the Kraken Shell. You can do it at level 2 if you have some tangos. Mid lane though, we've got Sugar Dunkerton in some trouble. Is going to be lifted up after the Dragon Tail. Will get the Fissure off. TP support coming in. They've got no heal for him. Dragon Breath will bring him down. Now Hot Run. Ravage. Reckoner's here too. Nicely done. Sunstrike to land on Hot Run. No one else has died though, despite a lot of blood being shed. Ravage was blown. Will they catch Shiny? He's pretty quick. 365 move speed. 364 on Ink. Dota needs to land the money arrow here as Shiny trying to run away through some choke points. Shouldn't be the hardest
There's the arrow. And
easily dodge. Barely dodge. Maybe clip the wing or something.
No,
Invoker getting pinged out.
Can they do
it? No, he's there. Man, they get the shackle off before the stun comes out. Nicely done. Maybe should have turned for that one. Sunstrike not quite off cooldown. Not even invoked, and he's got no mana. And Invoke is on cooldown. So 5-3. Earthshaker goes down. Didn't blow the Echo. They used the Ravage. So now that Echo is back up, they can go ahead and push as a team and again have that big ult to rely on for the team fight.
Talk about staggering your ultimates.
Oh,
here.
that's
now
nice.
They're gonna make a go on
it's not
backs,
blocked.
but not gonna go on him now. Now the last fight, it looked like they got 3 down low, but weren't able to seal the deal on any of them. But yeah, they had a really efficient chase, and they may have been able to even pick out the Sand King there if they had been a little more efficient with their time.
714, what is he doing?
Very aggressive position, but it does set up the arrow. Not able to do anything on top of it now. Sunstrike does connect. Jarly will drop.
Yeah, and Earthshaker showing why he's a great pick against Centaur. Sometimes, I guess, because when you're retreating like that, especially in the lanes where Centaur is normally going to chase and look to use his Stampede, you can just block off the entire lane that can't really chase you. And they can't blink either if they actually hit and you do damage with the Fissure, so it's pretty nice. I think 714 must have lagged. I don't know what he was doing. He was like running onto the TP, and he just got obliterated. And instead, they're going to lose a tower in the bottom lane. This Dragon Form goes up. They might even lose 2.
Yeah, this is a really aggressive push right now, and with one hero in the top lane, one hero in the mid, I don't think they have any tools to defend against this. I mean, they don't have the wards yet. They don't have the Mystic Flare yet. Yeah, they might just have to let this one go down. At most, they can try to draw the creep wave back, but that's not going to help them. Here in comes Reckoner. His ultimate on cooldown for 23. No other rotations in. They have no way of doing this. The TP, though, from Ink does come in. Now Hot Rod. He's going to take a Dragon Tail. Echo Slam does go down. Actually, Dragon Knight, he's going to fall really quickly. Jarly now going to go down to the tower, which is still standing. No attempt to go make it out now that the Siege Creep takes it out.
Oh, triple kill!
And wow, Sir Sugar Dunkerton getting himself a triple kill will pay for it.
His name, dude.
2 for 3 and a tower. You know, iDota not too bad with that trade, but not the best either.
Did they deny the tower? I think they did, right?
The Siege Creep got it.
Ah, Siege Creep.
I'm 90% sure. Yeah, they got it.
Yeah, it wasn't denied. Yeah, nicely done though. The Echo Slam gets used up there. That Enchant Totem maxed out actually even over the Fissure. I mean, Fissure doesn't change too much. The stun duration isn't a big deal as much as the Fissure duration, which is always 8 seconds. The damage is okay, but you get a bunch of damage from Enchant Totem and Aftershock anyways. So I really like the skill build actually. I think it's pretty good, especially for going mid.
So Blink Dagger's up on Reckoner, but is also being responded to with a Blink Dagger on Jarly. So both of those guys have their pretty much core Blink Daggers out. Smokes on either team, no attempt to use them just yet. The stack still stands in the Dire side, Radiant trying to get a couple stacks of their own, but at the time being, no real entirely game-changing items coming out just yet in the game. Still feeling about relatively even though you see about a 3,000 gold advantage for iDota and a 1,000 experience advantage. I still feel like Death by Snoo Snoo have a little bit of a lead in this game just by the feel of it, so...
Their power of the team fight, I guess.
Yeah.
Because you know, like, if they actually clash 5v5, Death by Snoo Snoo should win that. Although, you can move around the Fissures, the Echo Slams. You can even dodge the Ravage if it's, like, you're kind of far away. They throw the Stampede. I don't know. It's going to be pretty close. I saw Locarian in the Twitch chat saying he thought it was weird to feel that Snoo Snoo with Tidehunter and Earthshaker maybe don't even have the team fight advantage, but... we'll see what they can do on Shiny up here. They're scared. They don't know where anyone is. It turns out they're all in the mid lane, so they could have went on the Dragon Knight.
They're all in the mid lane. They almost got a good jump onto iDota here, but they're not going to grab it. Meanwhile, a smoke up from 714 and Reckoner. They want to try to make the jump on this fight, but with the rune spawning in top, if iDota, they want to make a go for that rune, then they spot him out, but instead they're going to go in the mid lane. They get an easy pickup on Ink. Jar will be soon to follow, and Ink is going to end up buying himself back. TP's on in, and just in time for the Ravage. Now, a Mystic Flare going down. Arrow will miss, but the Mystic Flare did as much damage as it needed to do. No Gush to come down out of mana. Lloyd comes in with the Centaur Stomp. Here comes Sir Dunkerton trying to get the Echo, sorry, not the Echo Slam, the Enchant Totem off. Will get the Fissure, and they're going to pick up the kill in the meantime. iDota dropping 3, Death by Snoo Snoo dropping 1 in the buyback.
Yeah, and just the Ravage used there. Did not have to use the Echo Slam. They will fortify this tower. They try to defend it. They're TPing in to maybe get the deny. Charlie TP's in, and instead the tower just gets killed. So, pretty nice turn of events there in the middle lane for Snoo Snoo. They were the ones that were engaged upon. They have that Blink Dagger up on the Tide. He rushed it. Usually, Tides will go for the Mana Boots, even Mech Mana Boots before Blink Dagger now, because you can just farm the Ancients, and triple Mana Boots come out. Sand King gets it for iDota. Now we've got Shadow Shaman, as well as Tidehunter. No, who else picked him up? Earthshaker, all picking him up there. So lots of more team fight sustained coming out for both sides, but Serpent Ward's going to be dropped, not used for a tower because they just got that middle. They'll use it for Roshan instead, and who are they going to give this to? I want to say iDota or Sugar Dunkerton. Name's hard to say. Tower in the mid lane, they're looking to get that one. Jarly going to be connected with the 5-second arrow. Can he leap in double Starfall? A little risky for Ink. Good restraint to not jump in there. If this was Pub Dota, someone would have jumped in on that arrow for sure. Lloyd's actually going to catch out the Earthshaker, and that's a big pick-off. No Echo Slam now for this fight. Ink will be able to leap away.
Yeah, now iDota, they're going to be on the aggressive side now, as with that kill up on the Earthshaker, again, you mentioned there is no Echo Slam. The Ravage is down for another 50 seconds. In fact, all the cooldowns are on.
Oh, arrow stolen.
Yeah, that's a pretty big steal. There is
Dragon Knight was
EMP.
definitely just baiting that.
EMP.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful arrow there from Delilah.
Very nice. Yep. I mean, the definite steal on Delilah. Wasn't expecting that. The TPN, obviously.
That BM pause.
Yep. Is it the BM pause? I don't know.
No,
the TP was sketchy, though, and Delilah, I don't think they quite knew that the arrow was on the Rubik. Delilah, using that to his advantage, throws out the arrow in the middle of the TP, dead on, and that was an easy pickup for them. Now, Shadow Shaman, even though he didn't have wards, still effective in the team fight. He is gone, though. Has buyback, wouldn't imagine he'd use it. And iDota, content with those 2 kills, but they're not. They're going to go for more. They end up dropping Lloyd here, trying to go on to Reckoner. There comes the burst damage. Now with the telekinesis, ends up getting himself out of it with a Kraken shell, but it doesn't matter as he goes down anyway. And that's going to be a 2-for-1. As well as a tower, iDota, not too bad with that trade.
Man, that arrow steal was really key. Shiny was just standing there, and I was about to criticize and be like, why is he standing so still? Like, they can see him. He's going to get arrowed, and then He dodges the arrow easily because he expected it to be coming. Rubik had vision. They have this aggressive ward here behind the tower, and that's what won that team fight for them and took the tower. And then I think they just took some more kills up here in this vicinity, so it really worked out for him. The arrow steal, all of them landed from Rubik. It's no animation, so it's super easy to land, and now it's suddenly 11 to 12. We had the gold and experience lead in favor of iDota anyway, a little bit more. XP is really, really close, equilibrium, but gold advantage now with the towers that they've taken. They've taken 4 off the map, 5 off the map. So you can see the gold lead. Essentially just the towers.
Yep, Death by Snoo Snoo, though, they're still leading in a kill. So in terms of that scoreboard, they're not doing too terrible, but they need to start getting towers right now. They are only have 2 tier 1s, bottom tier 1 still standing, and it looks like that's their target right now. They're grouping up as 5, making a move, and iDota, they sense what's going on. They start grouping up in their own jungle. They want to make a move as well. And with Epicenter Blink up and ready to go, if they can stop the cooldowns from Death by Snoo Snoo of going out before the team fight actually happens, then they can take a really good team fight. But Reckoner in a really nice position right now, but unfortunately, it's not good enough, is it? He gets the Ravage off anyway. The arrow does connect. He may actually fall still. They do have the Moonlight Shadow. It is covering his retreat, and it will end up getting him out. Reckoner, though, walking back in. Doesn't get dusted. Actually does. Now 7-14. Trying to walk away. Sugar Dunkerton ends up dropping, but it's a 2 for 2 as it stands. Now on the back lines, they're trying to make a go on to inkDota, but he will end up getting away. A 2 for 2, though, doesn't mean that the tower still stands, as the wards were dropped, and they make short work of it.
Yeah, those wards are really strong. Too strong, in fact, in my opinion. We'll see what happens to them in the next patch. I expect they will be messed with, as they were buffed quite considerably. Getting a whole nother Serpent Ward was quite a bit, so we'll see what happens. Whoa! Invoker landed that. Wow. Oh my gosh, this ward. This ward, if iDota wins this game, it was literally because of this ward.
You gotta call it the $1 million ward right now. This ain't
They've gotta know now that it's there. Let's look over for any dewarding. They don't have any. Sand King's got sentries, but wrong team, of course.
I mean, it looks like they tried to make a go. You can see the sentry ward right over here, but there's a smoke up. Now, it was right on top of another brilliantly placed observer ward. But do they have vision of that one? I need to check.
Well, they're running
no,
right
they
at
didn't.
them, so
They didn't
I'm
have
thinking
vision.
they didn't see it. Shiny is going to be the first
vision
one to get picked off, and oh, did he get stunned? He was trying to channel Epicenter. He will channel Epicenter. Sunstrike going to land on 3. Not really how you want Sunstrike to be used. Nicely done. Dust goes off, but the Epicenter is going to get 2. Double kill here for Jarly. Shiny very, very low, but he will live. He BK beat up, and now inkDota is going to be brought down with the Burrow Strike. The stun's really paying off. Ink does have the Aegis, but they should be able to kill him again. Cold Snap is on cooldown, actually. It was used there. They're going for the Warcraft 3 surround. Ice Wall dropped, keeping him in place. No leap for another 4 seconds. Jarly, mini stun. Probably would have killed him in the previous patch, but that arrow at that short distance did get nerfed a little bit on stun duration and damage. And really good trades there for iDota. They are just tanky, I guess. They maybe should have seen that smoke. It was pretty close to that ward, and they run straight into it.
They did.
Doesn't really matter.
Vision block.
They win the fight.
Blocked off right here, so they have no idea what's going on in this whole area.
Oh, is that where they smoked? I thought they smoked up.
They smoked, right
up here, right?
No, they smoked right there.
And I don't know. The game's pretty questionable when it comes to smoking. They might have seen the could have possibly seen the clouds, but maybe didn't notice it.
If they were looking at this location,
yeah,
at that moment they smoked, they may have seen the residual dust fly out, but I don't know.
Sometimes random things happen. Camera RNG, man.
I think it's pretty safe to tell, though, that by their
obviously they didn't see it.
No
That
idea
they just
what was going
walked
on.
straight into them. Luckily, DK has, what is it right now? 19 armor as well as 1500 HP. So he was able to live. He also had that BKB. That was a 9-second charge he used in that team fight. And then Sand King got a 3-man Burrow Strike into an Epicenter. So if you lose a fight when Sand King gets a 3-man Burrow Strike Epicenter, then you're really far behind. And that's obviously not the case. It's iDota who are actually ahead, and look at that XP graph jumping up considerably, about 7,000 experience points in that last exchange there.
Yeah, they got themselves a considerable lead, and now we can start to see their items get it coming into shape. We have the Necro 3 completed onto Ezbax. He did have the Midas, he contributed to that, but the mech is also done on Lloyd. Delilah has himself a Force Staff, and now Shiny's starting to build into his tier 4s as he's picked up the Hyperstone, probably going to be looking for either a Mjolnir or a Assault Cuirass, as those are the only 2 things you can get with a Hyperstone. But Both are viable on this hero.
I don't know, man. You could just get more Hyperstones.
I had my old Windrunner build, 4 Hyperstones.
Why? You have Focus Fire.
Because it's BM build, dude. Have you never heard of so far ahead that you buy random shit?
Yeah, I guess that's fair. The efficiency, though. Alright, they smoked up once again. They had a sentry down, so they knew there were no wards nearby when iDota smoked up. So the Colombian team looking for some pickoffs here in the middle lane. That ward still paying dividends. They have no clue that it's there, and it's going to remain there for another 40 seconds more than likely. But
Do they have
a little bit
another
of cold
ward? They can make
feet.
another go for one.
A little bit of cold feet. They didn't want to go.
They had full vision. They don't have another Observer ward, so that they can't.
They didn't know where
refresh
Mirana
that.
was, I think, is maybe why they didn't go. They didn't want to jump into it, get arrows or
Oh,
something.
this is
Instead,
huge.
wow, yeah, stealing the stack with Alacrity and Cleave.
This is very huge. This is Tide Hunter's gold right now. I mean, we take a look. What was that? A 5 stack? So you can assume that it was roughly about 1,000 gold, putting it at a 2,000 gold swing in favor of iDota here. That is a very big pick.
Yeah, I'm surprised Reckoner hadn't, managed to find the time to go down there and just do that.
They also have a stack of their own, which is pretty huge for them. So they've got another little bit of gold
Just
ready to
one.
go their way. I mean, one,
Yeah,
two
it's still
stacks
nice.
ranges. That's still nice.
It's
Yeah.
another 300 gold.
Easy.
Up top, iDota tried to get on some split push. He does have the creep clearing ability, not only his innate Starstorm or Fall, as well as the Maelstrom. So he can clear those creeps quickly. He doesn't do so much damage to the tower, but if you're carrying multiple creep waves with you, it doesn't matter all that much. So tries to split push a bit, forces a TP. I think Dragonite may be going to be content to come back and clear that other stack, maybe just in melee form with the help of Rubik.
Speaking
And
of, it looks
AC
like he is going to AC.
Almost finished, yeah. He's 350 from finishing AC, so that'll
Wow.
be up as soon as the stack is done. So there you go. The important single stack will pay for itself right here.
Rubik making game happening right now. Wow, that was a really poor choice of words. Rubik making things happen right now. As he was stacking, he did end up getting that great ward. He's got another one, by the way, if they want to try to refresh the really nice ward up there, maybe with a great smoke gank. But at the moment, it looks like they're content with hanging around in their own jungle, trying to increase their lead by eliminating the vision that Death by Snoo Snoo have across the map. Unfortunately, this sentry ward doesn't see the observer ward up on the high ground, so no luck there.
Yeah, just so slightly out of range. It's actually a really good idea to put the observer wards like as far back on the cliffs as possible, because it still gives you basically all the vision you would normally get, and it puts it out of the range of the sentries that were nerfed a while ago. Like, you can almost put the wards here, and they'll never find it. So it's an interesting tactic, I think, that you can utilize.
Yep, now a smoke up on Delilah and Jarly. They're going to meet up with Lloyd, who also has a smoke, and they're going to go straight back behind iDota. They saw him up by the creep wave, so they know there's no way for him to get out short of a TP immediately, and it looks like he's going to leap into the trees and go for it. Unfortunately, the best blink in. They find iDota, and they clean him up.
What destroyed the trees? Oh, the drop of telekinesis.
Yep.
Radiant's top tower.
Helium asking the important questions.
The good questions.
Yeah. Okay, so nice pick off there. They easily read that Blink Dagger, or the Leap rather. Even easier to read, exactly where he went. And that Blink Dagger on Sand King, always paying dividends. Wonder what the stats are on Blink. Sand King wins. I guess he gets played a lot, so probably close to 50%. I think I remember last night, Phage. I don't remember which stats man we had. I think we had Phage, right?
Phage.
It's like the Fridge Master and that Phage guy. I jumbled their names sometimes. But I think it was like 46% win rate for the Sand King. And then in conjunction, when he's combined with some other heroes, also Blink Initiators, it jumped to like 57%. But nice pickoff means they can push this tower. And Death by Snoo Snoo aren't even going to really bother to contest here in game number 1. 26 minutes, 18 to 14. Top tier 2 tower falls. Our net worth leaders are Invoker at 14k and Dragonite at 12.9, and then for Death by Snoo Snoo 9.8, we've got iDota on the Mirana. So we can see that they're trailing. Glance at the graphs. Tough work here, but they've got a good turtling lineup on the side of Snoo.
Good turtling, but unfortunately, we take a look, and you mentioned in the early game how Mirana, not exactly the greatest against this Tricore, and yeah, I mean, if it's she's not going to get the items she needs to contest this Tricore and become a hard right-clicker. If they turtle, they're not going to get the farm on her, and I can't help but realize, figure that, you know, if they have to turtle in this game, iDota's just going to get further and further ahead.
Yeah, and this is actually where I want to look at iDota's items. So I'm going to pull it all up. What I want to see is a mech and a pipe. I see a mech here on the Centaur War Runner. They do have the null field, so they don't need a pipe as much, but I think it'd still be really great. Blade Mail is actually the choice here for Centaur. Probably just to kill the Skywrath, because he's being targeted a lot by Mystic Flare. But I think pipe maybe would have been better. Oh, Lloyd sees the smoke, he breaks it, and he can just blink away from this if he wants to, and that's exactly what he does. It hits Yarly! Oh my gosh, Yarly gets hit in the pit, and he will actually survive that. Oh, almost gets out. The Fisher gets him in the end, and then Reckoner gets locked in the pit. Now Shiny BKB'd up. Here comes the reinforcements here. Meatball going to be dropped right on side of Dunkerton. Moonlight Shadow goes out, but that's what all the sentries are for on the side of iDota. They will pick him off 1950. Another arrow to connect. Shiny going to be slowed up, getting kited around a bit without that magic immunity, but what can we do? Cold Snap here onto Hot Ron. Should be enough Necro units to chase. Now the damage comes out. Cold Snap still does decent damage when you got the points in Wex and, not Wex, excuse me, in Quas. He's got 4 of them now, as well as just that right-click damage coming out from Exhort. He hits for a little over 200 at the moment.
What is the Quas Exhort build? Oh, an arrow. Esbax gets hit by it, and that is the full, pretty much the full duration arrow. Unfortunately, you know, you can't exactly go on that. Earthshaker buys himself back in the game. They want to try to pick off Shiny here. There is no way for him to come back. No Aegis. It looks like Charlie, he's going to go on to iDota. Meanwhile, a great Echo Slam going on to Sugar Dunkerton, but he's going to die for this.
Does a buyback too. Arrow coming through, going to be off the mark as they retreat uphill, and there was just a little bit more follow-up there. Even if Tide had just blinked in with an Anchor Smash, that would have been some kills, I think. But the lack, what I talked about on the draft, like there is some disable, right? But it's in ultimates and kind of not as guaranteed. And there's just like not enough follow-up to hold them there. Like they get hit by all the ults and then they just run away.
Yeah, so they're going to go ahead and take a pretty quick rush right now. They got the minus armor from the AC as well as the Alacrity on the Shiny, so he's going to hit that for pretty quick amounts of damage. And yeah, he's got the Aegis right now, so he's not as careful as he had to be a while ago. Even, well, he wasn't entirely careful to start with, but now it can be a little more aggressive, be up. They can try to make the high ground break pretty soon. And all in all, you know, things are starting to fall a little bit into place for iDota, whereas coming into this game, we've all figured that Death by Snooze would be the favorites, but iDota quickly proving us wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I guess iDota is a team I didn't really know much about. I have learned here from glancing at the chat that they are a Colombian squad, so it's nice to see another South American country getting some Dota squads going on, as well as what was also mentioned, did pretty well in the World Cup. I think better than anyone maybe expected them to do, which was awesome to see. And we'll see what they could do here in this game. I think at this point, in my point of view, it seems like they've pretty much won the game. It's their game to lose, like for sure, and has been for a while.
Throws happen, though. We can never count that out. But at the moment,
especially against Echo Slam Ravage.
Yeah. The thing is, you know, Death by Snooze they have to be able to catch whatever iDota throw. And looking at their heroes right now, they're not exactly poised for a comeback. Their only real pusher is Shadow Shaman, who still has level 2 Serpent Wards at 30 minutes and getting nowhere close to even dreaming of an Aghanim Scepter. Well, I guess he can start dreaming with about 2k gold.
I mean,
but
you can dream at any point.
Nah, when you have 100 gold, then
He's like halfway to the Ags. If they don't die, and maybe take another tower.
If they don't die, yeah. Okay, so I guess a throw might be the Aghanim Scepter, but you can't push off it. Now, here comes the pitch. Lloyd will go down. Charlie as well with the
nicely done. They clean everybody
They're going to get Delilah as well, a buyback on Lloyd.
What about that Ag Scepter now? Hot Ron. Oh, Hot Ron goes with the Blink Dagger, so now he's far from the Ags. But yeah, now the Blink's going to be really nice. That's what they needed, I think. So he can stay back and he can grab the key targets when they try to run after a Ravage or after an Echo.
That was a pretty crazy attempt, though, from Death by Snooze. When it worked out, they were just kind of sitting in a very spread out position. You had one over here, and one down here on the ramp. And it just was systematic, you know, take one, take the other, go straight through. And there was no response. Okay. Wait.
Sorry, it was getting ridiculous.
How is it getting ridiculous? That's all you, dude. I had very nice drawings there. I'm like the John Madden here, and you're his less privileged cousin.
Dave Madden.
He actually has a cousin? Well,
I have no idea. I'm sure he has a cousin.
Madden. Carson Madden.
Dave seems like a pretty reasonable name. If they're naming their kids John, I feel like someone else in the family probably named a kid Dave.
Okay. Wise words from Healy Umbrella. Speaking
Again.
of which, if you want to hear these wise words all the time, you know, he does have a Twitter, so just pointing that out, guys.
Yes, I do. It's in the bottom right. I added our Twitters to the overlays for us, so we can be
dude.
we
Oh,
can be
hell
rich
yeah, I'm
and
looking at it
famous.
on Twitch. Rock on. We are the big guys now. Big dogs. Big daddy. No
All right.
tail.
Yeah, maybe one day. All right, 21-18. There was some really good, I don't want to say questionable plays. It was really good Ravage and just quick pickoffs there in the middle lane by Death by Snoo. But now they're ready to push. Serpent Wards are going to be dropped actually just to defend here, but Dragonite in range form doesn't have too much of a problem bringing them down. It is really annoying that once you click Serpent Wards, it keeps auto-switching to a different target, but Shiny brings down the wards. Centaur jumps in, will kill Hot Run, and that's exactly who didn't need to die. Now you got the two-man Burrow Strike into the the epicenter going off. Too many big ultimates this game. The pickoffs continue. Buyback by Skyrath is going to be forced out here, and the tower in the middle lane, 700 HP. Shiny looking to bring it down. Arrow coming in, connects on the backside of the Forge Spirit. Shiny silenced up, still looking to fight. Big right clicks though. Another nice two-man Burrow. Jarly playing Sand King like a complete boss right now, and he will actually still live, I think. Yeah. As Ink Dota is going to get sort of sectioned off as the Breathe Fire misses. Sunstrike though, oh, so close. Little interesting placement. Maybe he was just a little over, would have been good. Doesn't matter though, middle racks are going to fall. There was a buyback by the Skyrath and he died once more, so they don't really have to worry about that high burst damage, and there honestly isn't enough right click to bring down Dragonite, so...
I mean, at most they can just try to be annoying here. A couple of arrows, a couple of fishers, but they're not going to defend their racks. They already drop. Now with Dota, look at the damage he just does to himself from 3 right clicks. Now Lloyd going to try to back off. He ends up luring Sugar Dunkerton past his own fisher. Looks like there was one stolen by Rubik as well. Now here comes the Ravage into an arrow. They do pick up Lloyd. Now Shiny going back in. He's got a BKB, no Dragon Form for 25 seconds, but he doesn't care. His sword is enough steel for this battle. Goes ahead and picks up the Shadow Shaman. Reckoner in a little bit of trouble. No Cold Snap ready. He's still taking damage from the Forge Spirits as well as the right click. As Bex, he's going in for the kill. Up the high ground, does get the shots, and the gem hits the deck. No way to reclaim it. Meanwhile, 714 comes back off the death. Buyback death again. He wants to stay alive. He's trying to get away. As Bex trying to chase, will get himself a concussive shot, and I'm gonna have to disengage from that one. No way of finishing. The Sunstrike 714 should be able to stay alive, and the story still stands. One set of racks down in the mid lane.
Yeah, definitely worth it. They forced a lot of buybacks there. They lost their tier 2 tower in the top lane, but the most unimportant tier 2 tower in the game, so it's not much of a loss, and they gained quite a bit. Steel won the battle, and gold is definitely going to win the war still for iDota. They're very far ahead now. 15,000 gold, 14,000 experience in climbing. Looking at the buyback, Centaur no buyback, so there was a buyback for that fight. It was Lloyd. I guess at that very early bit of that fight, maybe a bit before, so they can continue that push. And Skyrath did do a dieback, and then I think he died again. Or maybe no, he just escaped.
Nope, he got away barely,
there,
but he
yeah.
did buy back. He did die back. So
Unfortunate. I don't know. I think the nice Earthshaker steel, the nice Fisher steel, which you don't get the cosmetic apparently. So that's interesting, because that seems like a disadvantage if you know whose Fisher is whose, right? I guess Fisher is less important, but I guess if there was a Makara Pyre cosmetic or something, which seems like a good idea for Jakiro, just putting that out there. The hero with no cosmetics.
So check it out. Our Invoker in this game hasn't died once.
What a player.
Yeah, but now I'm
Did you-
going
no.
to top lane.
I thought that was
Wow.
him. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, you literally just cursed him so hard. And you got the kill too. S-Bax Cole doing
got
very
it.
well. 10, 0, and 12. Man of the match, I guess. We got to look at the other scores. Who else we got up on there? No one's even close. So yeah, I would say man of the match.
He's been on point with a ton of Sunstrikes, albeit great warding, but definitely doing incredible in these matchups, and knowing his positioning, he's doing an incredible job just staying alive. And I think looking at the rough patches of this match, I think him not dying is one of those things that iDota can look back at on top of the warding and just say, wow, that set us over the edge, because all it took was a little bit, and that's going to be it. Now, Jarly goes in on 714. They have the stomp as well. The Hex isn't going to save 714. That's the gem hitting the deck again. Jarly looks like he had the space for it, but not going to go for it. Just going to leave that on the ground because, you know, who wants a gem? Now here comes the Ravage. Reckoner grabbing, it looks like only 2 as Jarly makes his way back in. Shiny's still alive. Lloyd's still alive. Reckoner, he's going to die. his Ravage doing absolutely nothing in that. Now the ward's going to just get cleaned up by Shiny, who looks like he wanted to get trapped in it, but not exactly. Oh, Delilah steals wards, uses them on the tier 3s. Now it looks like a blink in. They end up picking off Shiny. He's going to die for this, but Shiny is down as well. No way to come back in. What is that?
No, Invoker!
Hot Rod, the mile-long shackle.
It was a 4-staff.
Now iDota, he's got a single kill, a double kill, a triple kill. He could find Charlie. He's looking for it. The arrow flies, but it is off the mark. He still wants it though. Charlie, what are you doing? Burrow strike. Egg, stay alive, man. He's looking for it. There's the Star Storm. Ultra kill for Ink. At what cost though? Well, at the cost of his racks, I guess.
Yeah, the racks, just the range racks fall. So after that, tournament events, Snoo maybe still in this slightly, but it's going to be a hard game. They lost the mid racks earlier. Yeah, the top ranged is down, just the melee standing there. Bottom is still pretty healthy. The gem is still on the ground too, so they're actually going to be able to reclaim that. It gets pinged out now. Skywrath goes, he'll clean it up, and Roche is back in the minute 30 seconds. Respawn timers aren't that long, so Roche is probably going to be the next hotly contested area. And let's see, 55 seconds on the Ravage coming up, and we've got 19 seconds on Echo Slam. Same thing for the Serpent Wards. So we can see all those ults we're pretty much using the same exchange. So every ult for Snoo is going to be up. Every ult for iDota already is up. So everyone's pretty much ready to rumble around the Roche pit. And that would say, I mean, being on the Dire with these big team fight ultimates, you'd think that Snoo would have the advantage and possibly taking the Roche. And maybe they can win the game back there.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, this game looking more and more difficult by the hour. And, you know, Death by Snoo haven't exactly been able to capitalize too much on anything right now. They haven't been given the chance. Now, there is a full data list completed on iDota as well as a Mjolnir, but his damage, I still don't think it is quite enough to really be that next level right clicker, but he definitely isn't counted out just yet. Now they're going to Moonlight. If they can get 2 pickoffs, this is what they're going to need to start getting good pushes. But they have 3 lanes pushing in and no way to take towers off of this one. So at most, a couple of pickoffs will buy them time, but they need to start worrying about where their lanes are. Now it looks like Lloyd. He's going into the enemy's Ancient in a great position to try to blink in, but not good enough. They end up picking off Rubik immediately. Now here comes Lloyd. He ends up getting fissured right off, still trying to run away with that blade nail, dealing a lot of damage back. Unfortunately not enough. Charlie though comes in, epicenter down, but not exactly catching anyone. A 4-staff out by the Shadow Shaman. Sugar Dunkerton has himself a BKB, gets a solo echo onto Esbex, who gets his first death of the game, actually second death of the game, and another wipe.
Wow, what a team fight there from Death by Snoo. Now with some BKBs up, everyone is able to run away from that, and that's going to open up the Roche. It was a long one. It did just respawn. I guess they're going to have to maintain their lanes a little bit, and they've got at least a minute here to go ahead for that Roche. I doubt iDota is going to want to force buybacks to stop the Roche. That's where you lose this game if you're iDota. You force those buybacks, then they win a team fight again, as they've just won 2 back-to-back. That one was a lot cleaner. It was, what, 5-4-0? The other one was like 5-for-5, or at least 4-for-5, I think it was. But yeah, they're going to go into the Roche and just respawn. Wards are dropped. Hot Ron and Reckoner can pretty much just do it themselves.
Yeah, that was an incredible, like, okay. So this is a game of catch right now. And I said that Death by Snoo couldn't catch. But, you know, I guess a Mjolnir plus Daedalus is enough to become a strong right clicker. And, you know, who could blame you? Tidehunter's mech is definitely timely too. And basically all of what Death by Snoo have is this ganking pickoff lineup. If they can get the initiation, they can control the fight, and they just proved that to be so. Now, iDota isn't out of this just yet. As you said, they're not looking to completely give away this game. They still have 2 racks or 1.5 racks up. But unfortunately, you need the full 2 racks to feel like you've got a definite map control lead at this point in the game, and you need all 3 to guarantee you the win. So they are still far away from having this game in the bag at the moment, and one really strong push from Death by Snoo can be the difference between, okay, we're coming back, and oh shit, we're ahead.
Yeah, actually, I haven't even looked at the graph since then. XP has jumped down considerably. Now it's only a 5,000 XP lead. Gold wasn't really too big of an issue. I mean, they've got a lot of towers. They've got Rax Gold. They've been farming the majority of the map, so they're still way ahead of gold, about 10k, but obviously being ahead of the gold isn't quite enough. They can still easily lose the team fights. The BKB on the Dragonite, I think that's the most important detail of why maybe the fights are going south. Down to 4 seconds now for Shiny. I think the last one was maybe 5. It could have been another 4 second. Or the first 4 second, I'm not sure. But that's definitely an issue. Sand King not landing that, or not being able really to land the epicenters anymore. Like, you can still get the burrow strikes, but then people just, you know, pop the BKBs. They've got the key one on Earthshaker also. That's actually at 8 seconds. We've got Piranha's now at 10 seconds. Hasn't even been used. And it blinks Forced F's. She's Aegis now here, Forced Snoo. So looking to win one more fight and then potentially the game as we look at buybacks here. We've got 3 per team, and it's pretty much just the supports. Mirana doesn't have it. That's the biggest issue, I think, in terms of buybacks. She's close, though.
Close, but no cigar. And, you know, I still like how they're dead. You can see they have buyback right away. So that is one of my favorite changes in the recent patches. But I think this is where iDota start to really try to clean up their play a little bit. They've had their fun in the lead. Now it's starting to slip away from them like sand in the palms of a baby. They need to get that final set of racks. They need to make a big push, and they have to make it happen. They still have the Necronomicon. They still have a lot of summon units and a huge wall of meat to just say, okay, you can fight us. You might be able to win the fight, but we will take objectives. And that's exactly what has to happen. Now, a Moonlight Shadow does go down from iDota looking to take out this mid lane push from Lloyd. He does end up backing, though. They have the respect plus the Sentry Ward to say, okay, there's a Moonlight. Let's just hang back and not give him away too much right now. And that's a Moonlight spent and a Moonlight not getting much. But at the moment, iDota, it doesn't look like they're making any movements around the map. And to be frank, I think... I wouldn't say it, but I think they're going to wait for the next Roche.
I think Lloyd should have built a pipe instead of a blade mail, and this game probably would have been over already.
Oof, that BM.
No, I'm just saying, I just looking to talk about items, I think that was a pretty key decision, and I think the blade mail, I mean, the armor doesn't really help you against that team whatsoever. He's just looking to return that magic damage, but they're pretty good, and it's pretty obvious when blade mail is popped to not go ahead and focus that person. I think Jarly could be in some trouble. Arrow will be off the mark now. Stampede going to be used defensively for Jarly to escape. Tornado looking like to reinitiate. Tidehunter could be dangerous. He's got Kraken Shell. Generally going to get off that Ravage at this point of the game. He's quite tanky. But yeah, I think if they had a pipe instead, maybe those team fights, there is a lot of big ultimate damage, and I think it would have been better. Like, blade mail is an item that helps you. A pipe helps your whole team. But I don't know. Maybe I'm blowing it out of proportion, but I like mech and pipe. 15k advantage, break the high ground. I think that's pretty like methodical Chinese Dota.
All right, so it looks like the top melee racks, it still hasn't taken any aggression in the meantime. No attempt to make a go on this. It's feeling like this is very quickly slipping out of the hands of iDota. Every second that passes, another second that we take a look over to Death by Snoo, and we see another item either halfway or full way completed. Already Tidehunter starting to get close to his refreshers, or very close to that one, not far off from it. Skywrath Mage, his next item is up to him, but he's got 2k gold towards it. And now Hot Ron, Shadow Shaman, he's getting close to his Aghanim Scepter. Mirana, her items are starting to come out very nicely. And Earthshaker, Sugar Duncan, is he's getting close to another item as well. I mean, 2,600 gold. This is getting really, really close to something that is just out of the hands of iDota.
Indeed. Everyone kind of scurrying around, scared to get pick off or looking for pickoffs. Aegis reclaimed in about a minute, so they're not looking to put that to any more use, I guess. I guess they've got what they wanted out of it. I think they had that one team fight at the bottom with the Aegis still in their possession, but didn't lose any. And Voger's sitting on a lot of gold, 3.7k. Died twice now. Caster's curse, man. We talked about him not dying, and then he died 2 times.
Well, let's be real here. Was that our curse, or was that iDota throwing?
I don't know. It's pretty hard to break the high ground there. They did a pretty good job of not getting very distracted. They were forcing out buybacks in the base, but then they got caught off guard, you know, expecting Snoo Snoo to sort of sit down and just take the loss, I guess, or just turtle, but instead they move out of the base, and that's I mentioned it on the draft, like, that's the power of the Moonlit Shadow. You're buying sentries all game, you have a gem, but only one person can hold the gem, like, you can still get caught, and Rubik was the one who did get caught, and I think that shows how much of an impact he as a player and that hero has had this game. Really key spells, really good warding, and always having the sentries. He goes down first, and everything fell apart.
Now it's a smoke up on the side of iDota, but they making any attempt to go on and do anything with it. Now, they are in the top lane. They do have a good advantage to try to push into this melee racks and maybe take a second lane of megas, but I don't know if that's exactly what you want to throw heroes at. I feel like mega creeps, full-on mega creeps would be a good trade to try to just take everyone out on, but at the moment, I think they're just going to try to slow push and siege. Roshan is back up, and another couple of minutes, give or take, 3 or 4, give or take a couple of minutes, and it's a Moonlight Shadow onto the bottom lane. If Shiny takes a full-on initiation here, this could be the green light for iDota to go onto the top lane, but Shiny, he's going to get gone on. He gets bursted down immediately. No retribution for him, and iDota, they back too far away from this lane. They have no way of taking out the racks. It gets pushed up on by the Forge Spirits, but there's a mass TP in, and they can't do anything with it. Now, they could try to make a go, but I think that'd be pretty much akin to suicide right now. Forge Spirits spotting out Sugar Dunkerton, not even attacking right now, as it's an easy cleanup for him, easy 60 gold, and iDota, it still is just slipping further and further away.
Yep, they're not making it any easier. They try to go for a bit of a split push because they're scared of getting picked off as an entire team. Instead, they just lose the Dragonite and they're not able to do anything top. They will have to back off. Dragonite did have buyback, but obviously you don't want to use it at this point in the game. That death timer is going to be so long if you do happen to die back, or even when you die. It's just a really big deal because that timer lasts until the next time you die. Sometimes you just intentionally feed in the clear, maybe when the team doesn't have ults or something. That's probably not a very good strategy, but kind of makes sense.
All right, I think this is the first push from Death by Snoo Snoo that could result in a team fight. As they're going to make a go here into the middle lane. They still have to go through a tier 2 tower, but with their lineup at the moment, I don't feel like they have any shot or have any trouble with going for it. Lloyd, he's going to go in. Hot Ron is his target, but they're still unable to take him out. Now Hot Ron, he gets mech back up, and Jarly, he doesn't have any target for this. His epicenter is a complete whiff. Now an immediate Moonlight Shadow on the back end of that fight, Death by Snoo Snoo. They're going to go back and right back into this fight. Reckoner taking out the Sentry Ward. They knew what was going on.
Got the gem.
All right, so
they've had the gem rather for a while.
They double back in. They want to try to take out this tower. This tower would open up the base for them. Shiny, he's going to get gone on here. Now getting Ancient Sealed up, but has to pop his BKB. Now iDota in a lot of trouble. Has to leap, but can't leap. The Ravage, it stops all three. They don't get the kill. He gets away. Shiny is still chasing though, but he's occupied for the time being. Meanwhile, Esbax will pick up Hot Ron. And Shiny, he wants iDota. They breathe fire, doesn't end up connecting, but he still finds Sugar Duncan. He wants the consolation prize, but the arrow connects. Now with a concussive shot, they still pick up the kill. The splash damage is on point. The creeps, though, in the top lane, MVP, they get the melee racks, and the base is open. Forward push on the bottom lane. Shiny still has a dragon form up for a couple of seconds. He ignores the tier 3s or tier 4s. He wants the bottom lane, doing decent damage, but he's going to go ahead and back off. Doesn't exactly want to push too far into an advantage of this game.
Yeah, Earthshaker did just buy back there, so I think that made them focus and group back together. They're going to go ahead and go on in, though. iDota, BKB available. It's going to get hexed up and brought down immediately. Does have the buyback available now. A nice Echo Slam coming through onto everybody, but no one dies. BKB up. Sand King finally falls. Shiny going to be shackled up and will eventually go down to the strong burst damage of 714's Sky Wrath, and now they're going to have to retreat. They lose 3 for 2 there. Earthshaker with a dieback, though, but again, gets it out of the way early, and it was worth it, obviously, defending the base. Otherwise, they're going to lose. And got the good echo, good team fight. BKBs weren't enough, and those times on the BKB are dwindling down now. Sand King's at 7 seconds, and still no new BKB here for the Dragonite. He's at 4 seconds. And Hot Ron in position here in the Roshan pit, looking to take another Aegis Cheese. This is going to be the 4th Roche of the game. That has only lasted 50 minutes, but complete buybacks for iDota, and I don't think they're going to be forced to use any here.
Radiant's bottom
Yeah, and you know,
tower
I
is
think that
under
last fight,
attack.
it'd be more fair to give him a 3 for 4. I mean, there were 2 kills, 2 buybacks on the side of Death by
Yeah.
Snoo. So they definitely didn't come out on the winning end of that fight, but they defend their bottom tier 3 and they defend their bottom rack. So they don't have to push against complete mega creeps just yet, but the damage was done in top. They lost their melee racks up top, so that means huge waves of creeps are now pushing in, mid and top. So iDota, they only have to push the bottom lane, which is a huge relief for them. Now, it looks like Ink, he wants to take the tier 2 as an extra bit of gold going their way, but it doesn't exactly win them the game right now. I mean, sure, the tier 2 drops, but this is the lane that iDota is going to be focusing on, and there's going to be no other opportunities to push here. So, at the moment, iDota, I think with that last fight, though it seemed a little sketchy, they did end up coming out on top, and, you know, they pull back what was quickly sliding away from them.
Indeed. Again, we said a while ago, I think around like the 30-minute mark, that it was definitely going to be iDota's game to lose, and so far Snoo has really stepped up and definitely tried to take it back for them, but now with, like you said, the whole top lane of Rack's gone, just pushing through the bottom, it's a lot easier for them now. But then again, Snoo's going to know where they're coming from, so if they ward up sort of in this area, maybe they can get a really good pick off or something like that and just push down and win. But all the buybacks available.
Yeah. There's no way for them to
actually,
push.
some of the bottom items, only 3 buybacks now. Dragonite, Rivik, and Invoker sitting with the buyback. Skywrath 714, the only one with the buyback right now for Snoo. And I'm just going to leave it on buyback status, sorted by team here, because that's really all that matters right now.
I mean, the problem is if they do end up taking a team fight up here in this area, and I'm not able to draw on the map, there I go. If they do end up taking a team fight up in that area, it's still a problem that they won't be able to push off of it. I mean, they have to push all the way down through this lane, and these two will probably be around these areas. So they're not going to be able to take any objectives if they win a team fight. They have to get good pushes and then maybe a couple boots of travels going to one lane and win a fight. Otherwise, there's a reason why when you have 2 sets of racks down, it's an insanely high amount rate of loss because it's just so hard to fight against.
Yeah, it really is. There's been quite a few games, a lot recently really, where the creeps have like taken out the throne while the stuff was going on, which is pretty funny. And it definitely does happen. They do hit really, really hard. But here we go. Blue Dragon form as they look to take down the tier 3. Concussive Blast goes out. The Gush reducing some of that armor now, but so much armor now. BKB, they will bring down 714. He does have buyback, the only one on his team. If there's any more pickoffs, it's basically game over for Snoo. Hot Ron almost goes down to the meatball. And let's see, iDota with a nice BKB here. Big Ravage, big Alpha Slam, everything connecting around. A double Ravage, the refresher from Reckoner right now. And they're just going to completely clean up iDota. Centaur are the only one left alive right now. And I didn't see that coming. I guess the refresher was completed, and that really, really paid off. Lloyd able to TP out. Still buybacks for the entire team, minus the Sand King, and he's got it in 19 seconds because that's all the gold he really needs. Well, a little more because it's 0.9 a second, but he'll have it pretty soon. And maybe they force out the buybacks, or maybe they just take another fight. They did just use everything though, so there's no Echo Slam. Both Ravages were used, and I think they can force the buybacks and then maybe look to win that next team fight and potentially the game.
Yeah, and you know, the problem is, I think we're still waiting on iDota or on the Sand King to actually land an epicenter. To be perfectly honest, I mean, he got the 3-man
Well, he
epicenter
got him early, but now it's just too hard.
Now he can't do anything. He hasn't gotten an epicenter. I mean, all the epicenters I've seen have whiffed, and that butterfly now finished on Ink Dota was huge in that last fight because Shiny couldn't land any auto attacks on Ink. Even though his right click is hitting for a very large amount of damage, it didn't amount to anything. So MKBs have to be picked up if they want to be able to bring this Miranda down short of stun combos. Now, they do get the Ancient Seal, but Delilah will force off out of the Mystic Flare. The tier 3 dropping about half HP. They shouldn't be able to take this out, though. The defense goes down. Lloyd linking in, not able to get a stomp. They will get a Burrow Strike, and now the Aegis will get popped by iDota. And he's going to come back, though. He's going to go straight on the racks. No, he's backing off. And here comes the cheeky end slap by the Earthshaker. Now Lloyd, he wants to make a go. Stop, pops a Stampede, but then Fisher does end up stopping him. Now the Moonlight Shadow does come out, but they get a dust off. Jarly cannot get any more burrow strikes. Look at the damage from Ink, though. Turns on Jarly, gets about half HP down on Jarly. They're waiting for the BKB. It should come off in a second or two, but it won't be enough time as his TP does end up popping. And the Rax still stand in the middle lane, so this won't entirely push in for death by Snoo. And this is another attempt by iDota. They didn't spend the buyback on the Dragon Knight, so he does have it again if he falls. So they're probably going to make a go on this Rax and hopefully take the melee Rax this time, as they were able to take the tier 3 tower last time. Maybe in a similar fashion they'll be able to take a melee.
Yeah, they could end it here, but we do have double Ravage up in 2 seconds right now. Echo Slam is back, so this could be the game decider. Still the 3 cores on iDota. There it is! The Fisher to initiate. Double Ravage goes off, gets everybody. Not a lot of damage. Needed that right-click follow-up. Now Jarly, can they bring him down? No one has died. Okay, Dragon Knight already bought back, so he did go down. Tornado's going to catch the Earthshaker. No, he actually blinked forward through the BKB. They will find Lloyd. No, Lloyd, nice use of the Blink Dagger to get out of that one. And that's everything used. Dragon Knight, if they can kill him here, this will be huge. But now the Epicenter comes in that we've talked about. You thought it was lacking. Jarly is going to show up, bring it down. Echo Slam goes out. But maybe, I think Tidehunter just jumped out a little too far in this engagement. The follow-up wasn't quite there. And that's full buybacks for the other team here. 7:14, 90 seconds to respawn, but 4 buybacks here by Snoo looking to fight now without their ults. And I mean, they got the Dragon Knight ult up right now. Half of its duration left. They clean up as many wards as possible, and I think this could be the final push here for iDota.
Yeah, it was a huge fight for them, and now both top and mid are pushing in. It looks like Sugar Dunkerton, he wants to try to make a go here, but the sentry goes down. They spot him out. He's going to get cleaned up. This is a dieback. If he falls, he's still about half HP, but there is the concussive, god damn, I can never remember the name of that spell. But it's not going to really matter as Shiny, he ends up getting away. Reckoner will drop as well. No, it looks like Earthshaker didn't end up falling. Reckoner will, though, and iDota ends up picking up Jarly, but, oh,
and
man.
The creep's going to be maintained here in the middle lane. All of them pushing
tier 4s actually drop, and the Rangin is at about half HP.
Dire's bottom barracks are
What a game. What a game 1 here in this 2-game series. I'm so glad we switched to 2-game series, because at the rate this is going, we would have been up until tomorrow morning.
Yeah, what is with this? We are going to 1140 pass in each of our game 1s.
Yep.
But fact still stands. The creeps are pushing into the bottom lane. Lloyd gets Fisher block there, but he's still going in. Hot Ron is going. What the hell's happened? Did he get hit by the arrow? He did!
Indeed.
He's stunned up! He goes down. iDota, though, drops way behind, ends up picking up Hot Ron, but iDota, he will himself fall. That's Delilah, sorry, that he picked up. But the GGs will fly, because this is definitely the Mega Creeps push. They are not going to be able to defend against this. No buyback on the Mirana, no buyback on anyone. And, yep, that is it. The range
it was called. Apparently someone is canceling here. Everyone's down there just going to let the throne die. A proper GG for once. And that was quite a game 1.
Gentleman's GG.
We did have a bit of remake drama, and I guess we have been we started late every night, but so yeah, I'm still gonna chalk it up with the game recap. Basically, that ward in the mid lane that I'm just gonna assume Rubik put down, and when he stole the arrow, and they took a lot of map control off of that, and just continued to dominate for a while. Some good comeback potential from Snoo. A couple big 5-man team wipes in a row, but it wasn't quite enough in the end. But they definitely made a game of it, and going into game 2, Snoo point for the tie here. iDota want to take the clean sweep, the 2-0.